Hello everyone. Welcome back to the new session of Biology Standard 11th. Today we'll start a new topic, chapter 16, skeleton and movement. Let's see the introduction of the topic first. As we know, the name of the topic is skeleton and movement. So you must know the definition of skeleton and movement. Now let's see the definition first. What is skeleton? It is the framework of our body, and you can define skeleton in the same way. Secondly, talking about movement, you can define movement as the change of a place or a posture of a person is considered as movement. The skeleton is a framework, whereas movement includes either change of place or change of posture of a body. Now let's see the topic which we have to study. We'll start with location and structure of skeletal muscles. Now here, major part of the muscle which moves a bone usually do not lie on the same bone, but it is located on the top of the bone, or you can say bone atop. And best example is here biceps and triceps. These biceps and triceps that move forearm are located in the upper arm. At any joint, you will find two types of bones are present. They are stationary and movable bones. Now, the end of a muscle attached to stationary bone is called origin, and the opposite end, which is attached to movable bone, is called insertion. And now here you will find the middle portion is there. The middle part is thick, and this middle thick part of muscle is called belly. So in any muscle you will find one end that is stationary, other end that is movable, and the middle portion. Stationary bone end is considered as origin, whereas the movable end is considered as insertion, and the middle part is called as belly. All the fibers in a muscle do not extend from end to end, and so you will find there is a maximum number of muscles present in the middle portion. Now, as in the middle portion, the thick part of muscle is present, so the shape of muscle becomes fusiform. That means at both the ends you will find it is pointed, that is tapering ends, and the middle portion is large. This shape is called fusiform shape. Now, on the basis of movement, striated muscles are of three different types. Striated muscles we already studied in the last chapter, that is animal tissue. Now here, the three types which are present, they are agonist, that is they are also called as prime movers. Then second one is antagonists, and third one is synergists. Talking about prime movers or agonists, they bring initial movement of any part of a body. Okay, those part which helps in the initial movement are considered as agonist. For example, biceps. Then talking about antagonists, they bring action opposite to that of prime movers. Example, triceps. Okay. Then synergists. what synergies do actually, they assist prime movers, that is they assist agonist. For example, brachialis, which assists biceps. Okay, now talking about working of skeletal muscles. How does your skeletal muscles work? uh, Generally what happens, the muscle work in pairs and they produce opposite actions. For example, now we had seen biceps and triceps. If you see a bicep, it always brings flexion, that is folding of your hand. So biceps are also called as flexors, and triceps, they bring extension of elbow joint, so they are also called as extensors. So biceps are flexors and triceps are extensors. Both are opposite in action. One brings the folding of your hand, then the other one brings the extension of your hand. The muscle which brings opposite action, they are called antagonistic. That means these biceps and triceps both are antagonistic. And here, if one member is capable of bending the joint by pulling off bone, remember, bending the joint by pulling off bone, then the other member is capable of straightening the joint or straightening the same joint by pulling. See, I told first by pulling and second again by pulling. And the best example for this is one brings about bending, other one brings straightening. That is triceps and biceps, you can say, of upper arm. Now, in antagonistic pair of muscles, one member is much stronger than the other one. Now, in this two, biceps and triceps, you will find biceps are stronger than triceps because they are antagonistic and one has to be more strong. And the fundamental characteristic of muscle is contraction. Therefore, you will find that muscle can only pull and not push to bone. That's why I told if one member is capable of bending the joint by pulling, then the other member is capable of straightening the same joint by pulling. It can only pull and not push. You have to remember this. And now let's see some important antagonistic muscles which are present in our body. First one is flexor and extensor. Just now I told you. Flexor muscles on contraction results in bending or you can say flexion of a joint. That means it brings about folding. Example is biceps. An extensor muscle on contraction results in straightening or extension of a joint. Example is tricep. Second one is abductor and adductor. In abductor muscle, you will find abductor muscles always moves body part away from the body axis. For example, you are having deltoid muscle which is present in shoulder. This muscle helps to move the arm away from the body. Then second one is adductor. Adductor muscle moves body part towards the body axis. Okay, and the example is latissimus dorsi of shoulder, and this helps to move the arm near to the body. So deltoid muscle of shoulder helps to move the arm away from the body, so it will be considered as abductor. And latissimus dorsi of shoulder helps to move the body arm near to the body, so that is considered as adductor. Remember, abductor away from the body, adductor towards the body. Then third one is pronator and supinator. Best example is your palm. A pronator always turns the palm downwards, whereas supinator turns the palm upwards. So when you move your palm upside and downside, you can see which muscle is important here. Pronator downside, supinator upside. The next one is levator and depressor. Levator raises the body part, whereas depressor lowers the body part. Okay, levator raises, depressor lowers. The next one is protractor and a retractor. Protractor moves the body in forward direction. Whatever body part it is, if you move it in the forward direction, then it will be considered as protractor. And a retractor moves backward. So if suppose you are moving your neck region or your jaw in the forward direction, then it will be protractor, and when you move it towards the back side, it will be retractor. And the last antagonistic muscle we have is sphincters. Sphincters you might have studied in other chapter also and in your 10th standard also. Sphincters are nothing but they are circular muscles present in the inner wall of anus, stomach, etc. And they are mainly considered for closure and opening. So sphincters are also considered as one of the important muscle. So these are some of the important antagonistic muscles which you have to learn. I hope you understood the topic. We'll stop here. We'll continue again in the next lecture. Let's see a quick summary. Today we studied the introduction of skeleton and movement. Then we studied location and structure of skeletal muscles. Then we studied the types of striated muscles based on movement. Then we studied working of skeletal muscles. And then we studied some important antagonistic muscles. Let's stop here. We'll continue again in the next lecture. Till then, take good care of yourselves. Thank you.